Hi boys and girls. Okay, last video we talked about all of the different drawing supplies. This time we are going to talk about what you could do at the drawing station. So as you know, I have a lot of drawing books and some of them have seen better days. So we're going to talk about how to use the drawing books and how to keep them nice and neat. So some of these books are my own and some of them are the schools. So a how to draw book, how this works is when you open it up, it will give you different steps and different stages for how to draw something. This book should not be drawn in. If you notice, my book has been drawn in a few times. So I'm going to keep reminding you all the time, please do not draw in the books. But it will go step by step. So basically what you do is you look at number 1 and you would draw these 2 parts of the picture onto your paper. Then you go to number 2 and you can look what has changed. Well, I see that they added 3 lines at the top and 1 small skinny rectangle at the bottom. So then I would go on my paper and I would add those 2 pieces. Then you go to number 3 and add whatever they added. This is not meant to be traced or colored in on the book. This is to help you draw it on your own. Okay, so this is how this book looks. And this book is a little bit more difficult. So if you find one that is too tricky for you, I would try the other book or try a different book. But this one starts with number 1 over here, and it takes you through how to continue. And it also gives you instructions that are written into it. And then it gives you some ideas for how to color things or other fish that you can draw. If you are an independent drawer and you are an advanced drawer and you think you can do this on your own, maybe this is the book for you. Okay? These books have really been used, so you have to be careful with them. This is How to Draw 101 Monsters. I also have How to Draw 101 Funny People and How to Draw 101 Animals. But as you see, this book has been used a lot, so I did buy another one that is brand new for the art room. Okay, this book is similar to the first book I showed you, how it shows you how to draw the first step first, and then it takes you what did they add from this one to this one. Well, they added this kind of zigzaggy line around the bottom. Okay, and it takes you each step. Then they added the feet. Okay, and they keep going step by step. So there are a lot of animals in here that it teaches you how to draw. Okay, remember, it's not for tracing. Remember, this is not for you drawing or coloring in this book. We want to keep it nice for all the other students. Okay, this is another new book I bought for our classroom. How to Draw Animals, step-by-step drawings. Okay, this one does give you a practice page, but again, I'm asking you that you do not use the practice page, okay, because we want to keep this book nice for everybody else that is going to use it. So it shows you here, it starts with shapes. Like this one is drawing a duck. It starts with an oval, 2 straight lines that connect it to another oval. And I'm pretty sure all of my students can draw ovals and straight lines. Okay, then it goes and it says that you can erase where the dotted lines are. So when you draw something, make sure that you're starting with a pencil and make sure that you are starting very lightly with your pencil so you can erase. I don't want to see you starting right off the bat with a Sharpie unless it's a special project that we're doing. Okay? So circle, 2 straight lines and another oval, and then they added the beak and the tail with kind of like a zigzaggy line. Next they added the beginning of the feet, and then they add the wing, eyes, nostril, and another line on the feet. Okay, so there are a lot of animals in this book that it teaches you how to draw. You can page through it and find one that you'd like to do during your free time. Or if we have a project that requires you to draw an animal and you're struggling, that might be something for you to look at. All right. So those are my drawing books. I want to give you an example of how I draw something out of the drawing book. Sometimes I like to draw really big. So I think I'm going to just draw number 1 right out of the page. Okay, a lion. So I'm going to start with a pencil, and I'm going to look at my picture, and I'm noticing, like, if this is my full paper, they didn't leave a lot of room down here for the feet to be, so this shape can be pretty big and almost fill up my whole paper if I want it to. So I'm gonna start by drawing a zigzag line all the way around my paper. And then I noticed too, it kind of comes to a point at the bottom. So keeping in mind while I'm drawing that it's going to meet, maybe I want to put a dot there for where my goal is, for where my zigzaggy line is going to end. All right, there, they both met at the point. It's maybe not as pointy as the other one, but I think it'll work. Okay, step number 2, it shows to make, I think I'm gonna start with the ears first, like this part right here. Okay, and it looks like this shape almost fills up this whole piece too. It actually kind of looks like a piece of bread with ears. And upside down, this looks like the crust. Okay, so I'm going to start with the ears. I think maybe I'll start with the line that goes right in the middle so I know where my ears have to go. So there's a line. Here's my ears. And then it kind of comes down. Oops. I can erase because I drew lightly with my pencil. And then it looks like it comes like this. Okay, so there is step number 2. If I find that it doesn't fit in there later or I need to change something, I can still change it because I'm using a pencil. Step number 3, I noticed that they add this bottom part of the mouth, and then they add the feet, the front legs of the lion. So I'm gonna work on adding this kind of like a U shape right here. And then to me, it looks like the lion's feet almost come right, oops, sorry, I bumped my camera. Almost come right off of the point of this zigzag line. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it like that. A line that goes straight down. And then I'm going to come over like this, because that looks like how the lion's feet goes. Looks like I need to come up like this. And then a straight line up to the zigzag, or to the lion's mane. I can tell that it's a mane now. Okay, so there's my feet. They maybe don't look exactly the same, but that's okay. Everyone is gonna be different. Step number 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be adding teeth and then adding the back legs. Okay, so this one looks like it might be a little bit tricky, but I'm gonna break it down and just look at it one step at a time. So I'm gonna draw the V's for the teeth. Okay. This part looks like it comes out of like the middle part of the mane, so it's not right next to this foot, it's kind of like in the middle. So I'm gonna go to the middle and I'm gonna draw a line that comes down. So up to the middle, draw a line that comes down. Then it looks like it has kind of like a U shape that comes from there. So let's draw, oh, mine's gonna go off the paper because I draw big, but that's okay. And then finally it looks like it's got one more little U shape, or a J. It kind of looks like a J if you look at it this way. A J coming out of, it's touching this foot and it connects to that part. So, oh, mine might get cut off the paper. Let's see. There, it's not quite as long as the other one, but that'll work. Okay, and it's similar over here. It's like a line, bump, bump. So, a line, bump, bump. Okay. I can see my lion start coming together. Let's look at step number 5. I see that they added the nose, and I think they added some lines in the feet and then part of the tail. So I'm gonna start with the nose. Looks like they did a slanty line out and a slanty line out. Okay, and then they made this into like a V or a triangle. And then they did this shape is kind of repeats it. It almost looks like a heart, doesn't it? Okay, and then lines in the feet. They just did like a straight line, curve, and then turn it down to go straight line across, kind of a straight line down. There we go. And then I think your tail could be however you wanted, but it comes out of this part of the line, and wherever you want your tail to go, you make a line that looks like how you, if I want my tail to be curved, so I'm gonna make like a curved line. Then it looks like it gets skinny at the end of the tail, so I'm gonna start close, and then when I get further down, it gets thicker, so I'm gonna keep my pencil line further away. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's look at step number 6. Now they start adding the finer details. So they add the end of the tail, they add whiskers or dots for whiskers and nostrils, they add straight lines for the eyes, and they add a little shape inside the ears. Okay, so I am going to do the straight lines with my eyes because I think that part sounds pretty easy. And they just put a little circle under here. I think you can fill it in if you want to. Or if you're planning on Sharpieing it afterwards, you could fill it in. They give a little half circle shape for the nostrils and some dots for the whiskers. Don't forget when you make dots with a drawing tool that we draw them on there. We don't pound it into the paper. Then it gives kind of this repeated shape, kind of like a circle or an oval that goes inside the ears. Okay. Let's see. Oh, they put some lines in the hair to make it look like the hair is, there's more pieces of hair. And then it gives a little tail. So it gives like a teardrop shape. And then the other side of the, oh goodness. And the other side that I'm falling off the page for, actually, well, you could draw your tail however you wanted, but this one does like this. Kind of like that. Maybe I'll put some lines in there too to make it look like lots of hair in the tail. So there's my tiger. Lion. It doesn't look the same, but it looks pretty good because I followed the steps. So that's what the drawing books are supposed to be used for. You're not supposed to be making it exactly the same. Otherwise, I would have given you a coloring page. A drawing book is to help you look at something and then train yourself how to draw it. Okay? Other activities that you could do at this drawing table if you don't want to do the how to draw books, you could scan the QR code for Art Hub for Kids, or you could come up with your own imagination, something out of your imagination to draw. Okay? Now, I'm not going to show you how to trace with a Sharpie because I think you all know, but if that's how you wanted to, if that's what you wanted to do next, you would trace with a Sharpie. Please make sure when you are done with your art supplies that you're putting them back in the right bins, the correct bins, and make sure that you are starting with a pencil first and drawing lightly, because there were a few times that I needed to erase, and since I drew lightly, you can't see my erase lines. Okay? Don't forget, when you're done with the paper, put your name on the back so that we know whose it is. All right, now that you have watched both of these videos, you are free to make your choice at the drawing station.